Okay, guys, thank you so much. Good morning to both of you. Margaret is joining us from West Coast. It's about 6:30 a.m. for her. Thank you so much, Margaret, for coming. And Mark is from Michigan, so he's doing fine on time. But yes, it's also early morning for him as well. So let me introduce our first speaker, Margaret Fecker. He is from Michigan, and he is a co-founder and CEO of a digital retail company called Robo Retail. Now, Robo Retail basically helps businesses like e-commerce grow, and they provide a lot of things to businesses to grow. For example, they provide the robotics, the strategy, the marketing, the technology, the analytics to different businesses, which help them grow. Robo Retail encompasses the ideal of helping other businesses grow. Built on noble cause, the company provides strategy, counseling, software solutions, digital marketing for other businesses. Being an alumnus of prestigious institute like Michigan University, Harvard Business School, Mark excels in the role of business development and digital architecture. Uh, Mark is a former president of Ford Direct. He was working with Ford, and he also worked in the field of product innovation and strategy, bringing with experience and skills we cannot wait to hear from Mark. Thank you so much, Mark. Looking forward to speaking with you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Our second speaker is Margaret Davidson, again a very accomplished woman. She is a CEO and co-founder of Bokk Baby, an organic baby clothes and gift shop. She completed her bachelor's in art from Johns Hopkins University, and she's currently pursuing an MBA from Columbia Business School. Her company, Bokk Baby, provides a sustainable solution to parents for the baby's clothing and believes in the ideology that businesses must be a force for social good and environmental well-being. Margaret is also had a volunteering experience in several organizations. Before finding Bokk Baby, Margaret worked as a freelance designer, and she also served as Peace Corps volunteer for a brief period. Looking forward to speaking with you, Margaret. Thank you so much, and good morning again.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Thank you. I think we have Ed here as well. Hi, Ed. Good morning. Ed, I guess you're muted.
You're on mute, Ed.
Can you hear me? All right. Good morning, all. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. You're driving, Ed?
Yeah, I'll be in the factory in just a minute. I'll be fine.
All right, cool, excellent. So let me take this opportunity to introduce our third speaker, Ed. So Ed, thank you so much for joining us today. Ed defines himself as not only the founder of PuckerButt Pepper Company, he also calls himself the mad scientist and the chef of the company. So Ed calls the company calls Ed the smoking Ed because he has created the world's hottest pepper, and he calls it Carolina Reaper, which is a trademark of Ed. Ed also holds a Guinness Book of World Record for hottest pepper in the world. He's graduated from Michigan University, and he has been experimenting with peppers and created PuckerButt Pepper Company in 2003, about 18 years back. He owns the largest pepper farm in the US, organic pepper farm in the US, and was part of a Netflix documentary called We Are the Champions in 2020. We are very eager to know about this hot and spicy venture that Ed started. Thank you so much, Ed. You truly will, a lot of people can learn from you and the kind of hats that you wear and the kind of things that you accomplished in your life. Thank you very much. Let me go to our first speaker, Mark. Mark, tell us more about your business. Now, you seem to be helping a lot of businesses with technology, digital marketing. Tell us more about yourself, your business, and what's your why. Why are you doing what you are doing?
Oh, great question. So, Yeah, so I've really spent my whole career in the internet space. I built my first website in 1994 and fell in love with the internet and the opportunity that it presented. And I started as a technologist, software developer, developing different systems, solutions, and ultimately found my way into the automotive arena and spent time at Ford Motor Company, which was a really great experience and helped me develop a lot of other skills around marketing and digital overall, but also went back to school like you, Margaret, later in my career and got my MBA, which was one of the greatest experiences, but also very challenging to do full-time school and full-time work, but super fulfilling. And that really gave me the itch to kind of create my own business. But more so than that, after spending a number of years inside of Ford and helping, automotive company sell cars online, people used to ask me what, your family asks you, what do you do for a living? I used to say computers, but then they always would ask me to fix their printer or, help them with getting their email on their phone. And so, but then I started to say I'm a modern day used car salesman, that's kind of how I felt, right? I was just, selling cars online and in a big enterprise, you're a cog in the wheel and maybe, it's not as fulfilling, but also I saw there's so many tools and products out there in the marketplace, but not a lot of support services to help businesses. And I really, the reason why we created Robo Retail was our desire to help more people and make a bigger impact in the world. And we really wanted to focus on the small and medium-sized businesses because they have the upward opportunity to grow. They often, lack the skills and competencies in their business to be effective in digital, and we see that all over the place. And then we wanted to create a work environment that was ideal. Basically, we wanted to create a lifestyle which, so was supportive of good work-life balance, that really had a family-oriented kind of, culture, and but people who were also really passionate about making a difference. And it's like, getting involved with Ed. I mean, Ed in his business, and like you mentioned, and he's going to talk about his passion for hot peppers. And I got to learn all about that. And now I'm a pepper farmer, myself, amateur, right? And started to get, very involved. And you get that intimacy with the businesses and what they're trying to accomplish. And you just, get so much more reward from feeling, that you're contributing and helping and feeling recognized that way. So, I mean, those are the reasons why, and that's kind of what we're trying to create. But ultimately, we are those services that help those businesses be effective with digital.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mark, for the initial context. Mark, I've also gone through a website, and you mentioned on a website that you guys are able to give 5x return on the ROI that people are giving to you, and the money that people are giving to you. You're giving them 5x. Can you throw some light on that? How do you do that? How do you measure it?
Yeah, so first off, our 5x guarantee is for clients that we support their full digital suite of services. We can do it on a piecemeal basis if we're just doing one function, but it varies across the board. But we also will evaluate the current business and their opportunity in the market, because I know that's one of the things that people have to recognize is, growth is great, but there is a cap. There's always a cap. There's only so many people in the world. There's only so many people in the market. And where do you do that? And how do you do that effectively? So our 5X guarantee is about $5 of revenue for every dollar you spend with us. So as long as you're clearing 20% margins on your sales, you're gonna, there's no risk to the business. And why are we able to do that? Because we understand the science behind digital and how to actually find and acquire, traffic and new customers, and how to, treat them effectively to continue to nurture those relationships and grow that kind of share of wallet, if you will. And and we can look at that and walk in confidently, put that guarantee in front of our customers, and that helps them, because I will say too, a lot of people that we support who are on the small, medium-sized business, they don't necessarily have the acumen and the understanding to really get what it takes to get it done. They just really care about the results. And if you can help, set their mind at ease with the results, then, they're able to, make the plunge and make the investment to get started in this area.
Absolutely. So a lot of people only understand numbers. Every dollar that you want to spend, like whether it's on ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, you want to measure what's the ROI, and you helping them with calculating these numbers, giving these numbers upfront, definitely helps them take a decision and take a right decision. Thank you so much, Mark, for setting the initial context right. Over to you, Margaret. Tell us a little bit more about your business and why did you start Bokk Baby? Uh, what's your why?
Yeah, sure thing. So I started the company, I guess, 3 years ago now. I started working on it in 2017. We actually launched in 2018. And truly, I mean, I started it because I had this experience. I saw my sister have a baby and she went through so many clothes. And it just was a very unsustainable model. And I really wanted to do something creative with my life. I mean, I had been working as a designer for quite some time. And very truly, the great thing about, the fashion industry and direct to consumer e-commerce is that there's a pretty low barrier to entry. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to start your own thing, it's very possible to do that with, very little upfront capital. So, that was really an opportunity that I saw to go out on my own and be creative and follow a passion of mine, and to also build something that I felt like was beneficial to the world and to the industry, and something that I didn't see already out there. And that was, a more sustainable model with a take back model for used and outgrown children's clothing.
So, Margaret, there's a lot of hype on the word organic and sustainability, sustainable clothing, organic clothing. What qualifies to be an organic apparel? What qualifies to be sustainable apparel, and what does not in the US?
So in order to be organic, you have to, I mean, we consider it GOTS certified organic. So that's a certification that comes with fibers and textiles. So in order to call yourself organic in the US, you have to be organic certified. I guess the most legitimate certification out there is GOTS certification. So that just is what I guess enables the qualification of organic. What enables the qualification of sustainable is honestly a lot more fluid and a lot less transparent in a lot of ways. For us, how we view it is a transparent and ethical supply chain, and making sure that the manufacturers that we work with do hold sustainability to a high regard, in that sense, meaning that we use all low impact dyes that reduce chemical runoff into into the water system and whatnot. We manufacture everything in Los Angeles, so all of our suppliers are pretty transparent in the sense that we know about everything that they do. We know about everyone who works for them. We can go there, and obviously they're all compliant based on the rules and regulations of the country that we live and sell in. So in that sense, the way, I guess, the standards by which we hold our manufacturers is pretty high. In addition to that, we have a whole circular model. So that additionally adds a framework of sustainability to what we do. That sustainable model means that not just thinking about on the pre-consumer end how we manufacture our apparel in a sustainable and ethical way, but also on the post-consumer end, how we're contributing to, I guess, a system that reduces waste overall, especially for post-consumer textiles. So what that means for us is that we'll take back used and outgrown baby clothes, and then we recycle responsibly on our end. By that, we partner with a number of different nonprofit organizations. So everything that we collect back is redonated. If it's, if it's, I guess, high quality enough for rewear. If it's not, then we have a textile recycling partner who end of life textiles go to.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Very interesting story, Margaret. Thank you for sharing that. Ed, are you ready or should I come in the second round? Yeah, you're muted, Ed.
I'm ready.
Excellent. Wonderful. You are in office now. So, Ed, coming to you, tell us about your pepper story.
Well, I've been in peppers since 1981 was when I first got exposed. I was doing research for cancer and heart disease and researching capsaicinoids because I could standardize that in the lab at the time. And we had, ins and outs. My story, I'm a drug addict and an alcoholic. And I really wasn't serious about what I was doing for a long time. But when I got clean, I got serious about what I was doing, and I started raising subcapsaicinoid levels in certain peppers to, essentially help the medical community. And I had personal stuff. Cancer and heart disease is prevalent in my family, and I wanted to help some of my family members. But in doing that, I was growing. At the time, I was growing about 1,200 pepper plants. This was like 2002. So I had to do something with all those peppers. I started making hot sauce and salsa for everybody. My wife said, "Hey, you should be selling this stuff because we're giving away a whole lot of." I was spending a lot of money giving away stuff. So we started selling in 2000 and end of 2003, 2004, and I built a simple website with a friend. I am not the most creative person when it comes to that stuff. I was using Currie Draw to do my panels, so it looked like a 2-year-old built the website. But we actually sold hot sauce, and things kept on getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I had to get people involved. And I was working full time at the bank. I'm a trust banker by trade because I like money. But one day my wife said, "You've got 29 employees. You're working full time at the bank, full time at the farm. You need to leave the bank and do this for real." And we used another platform prior to going to Shopify, but they didn't provide the service that we really needed. And the person who was helping me with the website at the time kept on saying, "You need to go to Shopify. You need to go to Shopify." And I don't remember when we switched over. I think it was like 8 years ago or so. Mark would know better than me. But we switched over and sales went through the roof. I started using all the tools that were available. And I am not that guy, okay? I'm not the guy who knows how to go out and market stuff. I'm good on TV. I'm good on, video. But I could care less about, all the stuff that Mark does for me. Because it's a waste of my time when someone who knows what they're doing can do it. So the one thing I do, I use Kit all the time. I love that about Shopify because it's simple. I can do it from my phone, and I have a lot of fun putting stuff on sale without telling anybody. But the pepper business, people don't know, but in 2000, I think it was 6, hot sauce and salsa overcame ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise as the #1 condiment in the United States. In 2008, it took it over in the world. So this is a market that's still untapped. We are one of the leading edges in it. And it is only because of this product, the Shopify product, and Marc's Robo Retail that we continue to be #1 in the second tier. Now, I'm hoping to break into that tier that Tabasco and Texas Pete and all them are in. But I know with the tools that we have right now, we can do it. Before Marc became involved, our yearly growth was between 17 and 20%. And since Mark's been involved and since we've been using Shopify, we're seeing like 30 to 40% growth every year just in the internet sales. So, the pepper business is booming. As he said before, we are the largest organic hot pepper farm in the United States, though I have dropped my organic certification because dealing with the USDA, I just dropped it 2 weeks ago. Dealing with the USDA is just too much. And now I have to hire a consultant just to do the paperwork that involves being organic. We still follow organic practices, but we're going to be all natural until September because the government got involved and now it's crazy, and I hope the government never gets involved in what you guys are doing, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I am. And where I am is a very good spot right now.
Excellent. Ed, that's a great story. It's very, very extremely motivating, extremely inspiring. A follow-up question, you mentioned about, did you mention about the pepper treating some diseases in your family?
Yeah, certain subcapsionoids that are found in the hotter peppers kill cancer. They actually cause what's, in layman's term, is an autoimmune sequence in the cancer cell, and it actually kills the cell. So I've been trying to breed those levels up in the hotter peppers so that people, and also breed sweetness into peppers so that people who are suffering from cancer and maybe taking chemo, they can taste simple sugars. So simple sugars will get them to eat more, and that hot pepper in there gets the thing that kills the cancer into their system. There's a lot of research going on with it, but just like I turned over my website stuff to Mark, I turn all that research over to real doctors and researchers because I've got so many, irons in the fire that I just can't deal with everything anymore. It used to be that I would go to the lab and have fun with the doctors and have fun with the chemists and all that, but there's just not enough hours in the day to do it. I only sleep like 2 to 4 hours a night as it is. So if I kept on going on the medical research side, I would never sleep. And there'd need to be 30 hours in the day.
Extremely inspiring, Ed. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for sharing the beautiful stories of yours and how you're helping people around the world with your pepper. Coming back to you, Mark. Mark, apart from people like Ed who are in the online businesses, what other type of businesses do you help?
Yeah, good question. We have a really wide range. We have a big segment of our customers who are in the what we call pro services, but they fall into kind of plumbing, electric, heating contractors, painter, people who like that. There's a lot of small businesses like that, and we provide some more packaged services to that segment. We also, we're in the process of launching a new medical facility called the Anxiety and Depression Institute, which is a passion business created by 2 different doctors who have seen a real, growth in the needs for mental health services and a lack of services available. So we're leaning into telemedicine to help people with mental health conditions. And then we do a lot of work because of our roots in automotive, helping businesses like we have work we do for aftermarket service, oil change business called Victory Lane. We also, our biggest customer, mostly small and medium-sized businesses, but we also, on the larger side, we work with Winnebago Industries and are helping them with not only their online retailing experience, but also their in-vehicle connected RV experience. So very broad range of clients, and we're not really, vertically focused at this point in our journey.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So, Mark, one follow-up question is that Ed mentioned about his growth with you. So in other words, you and Ed have been a perfect match a perfect case study. So tell us a little bit more about what technologies do you use for Ed? What exactly do you do for Ed to help him in his growth? What apps do you use in Shopify? What technologies do you use? What do you look after? What exactly are you doing for Ed to help him grow?
Well,
Ex-
yeah, that's a big question. Oh, sorry, Ed, go ahead.
Mark, excuse me a second. I got to jump, guys. It was an honor. But I have a meeting that I forgot about. They're here for a game we're doing for Hot One.
All right, thanks, Ed.
Thanks,
right.
Ed. Thank you very much.
Mark, you take over.
I will. Thanks, Ed. Talk to you soon. That's a big question. There's a lot of things that we do, but I will say, when we got involved, there's a few things that we did initially, and we've been managing Ed's online e-commerce experience for a little over 3 years now, and we initially, and where he's seen the most growth is through organic search traffic, and really I think it's fascinating. You can go and search for Ed sells not only his own products but other third parties who also make sauces and that he will sell through his marketplace, and you can pretty much now search for any of those products and will show up before the actual product brand site shows up online, which for us is, that's, we love that because as you know, in e-commerce, you ask businesses, who are your competitors? And they'll often say either I don't have any competitors, or they'll talk about somebody, down the road who does something similar to them. And we're always like, oh, your competitors are whoever is searching for your stuff online and who is showing up ahead of you on the search results, right? I mean, that to me is where the marketplace is had, at least from, majority of customer acquisition. There's plenty of other ways to, acquire customers, but I'll just say from a, pure kind of automated way of capturing customers, the organic search is huge. So we've done a lot of work in kind of identifying where we can create relevant content and appropriate content into our sites, and as well as getting all the referral traffic to the sites so that we build our relevancy in search and show up there. So that's, first and foremost. As far as like tools, and things that we do within Shopify, the Shopify structure, for the most part, we have lots of different apps and plugins, and I have to pull them up to kind of look and think through. And actually, I'll come back to and maybe speak to that on just as we're going here. But we use ShipStation for fulfillment. Currently, Ed does all of his fulfillment out of one of his buildings there in Fort Mill, South Carolina, and we use ShipStation for that. And we use other plugin tools for different aspects of the site. But I will say we've been using a Springbot for email communication and some advertising. But we're in the process of, we've been testing Klaviyo and potentially moving over to Klaviyo. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's more robust and provides better segmentation and better automation. So we really like that tool. Yeah, I mean, those have been our big thought. The other big thing that we've done with Ed is not just purely commerce. I want to really hit on this point, because it's a marriage between Ed and me and what we're doing together. And what we found, and again, it's about looking at the data and seeing the results and seeing what people are responding to. In his arena, there's a lot of heavy response to gamification, interaction, and also just other things that are not traditionally, marketing or advertising related. So we found that people really like surprises. So there's these in the hot pepper world, there's a lot of like contests. How hot of pepper can you eat? Or let me have you eat this hot pepper and watch, torture my friends or my family members, right? Well, that if you think about that, you lean into that a bit, it really became about like, how do we bring our products to market and how we offer to them? So we created things like a subscription service where you can subscribe to getting the hot sauce of the month club, or it's a hot sauce of the month club, and you get the latest hot sauce from Ed. It gives Ed a channel to actually test new products with a group of loyalists. And it also provides that reoccurring revenue. And we've continually grown that, and we brought that to bear for him. We also started to look into, gift packages and actually people who are looking to buy his product for somebody else, and what things can we offer there. And so, we've done those things and we've trialed those things, and it's a lot of trial and error, but it's not just trial and error, it's trial and learning. I'd like to say that it's like trial and learn. And then what can you get from that? I want to give one example, which I really love. It's one of those that just kind of, I shake my head even after the fact. But we did a campaign that was for Halloween. And we noticed that we're like, you know what, our audience, for the most part, these pepperheads who love the hot sauce, they are crazy, and they are willing to try anything, and they're just, they're kids at heart. So we said, well, what do you, from a Halloween perspective, what do you like as an adult? I love taking my daughters, trick-or-treating, but I'm kind of jealous. I miss the joy of that myself. So we did a trick-or-treat campaign, and we offered customers, you can get we'll give you this 30% off gift deal. You spend $30 or more, you get 30% off. Or we will sell you this package that is, you don't know what's in it. It's the trick package. It's also the same thing, 30% discounted, so we're guaranteeing, $45 of stuff for $30 or whatever, right? But you don't know what's in it, right? So we offered this, pick your trick or treat. Guess how many people pick trick versus treat? We had about 10 people buy the treat, the 30% off deal. We had over 400 people buy the box that they didn't know what was going to be in it. And this was like dumbfounding to me. I was like, oh my God, like transformational, right? Like, oh, wow, people really love this. And so we've leaned into that kind of model, and people really like not necessarily knowing what they're going to get, but knowing they're going to get a good product because they know what Ed provides. He provides great hot sauces and a variety of them and different products. And it's a way to, so a little bit of fun for the audience, but also really surprising from a marketing perspective. It's just was not expected, So anyways, that was an example of some of the things that we're doing. But as far as tools go, I'm, like Ed, he mentioned, he doesn't have enough time to deal with all the expertise in all the arenas. Well, I'm the same way at this point too. We got a team of 25 people, and SEO person knows SEO way better than I ever will, and the advertising person knows way better than I ever will. And so I will pull some of that just so I can share a little bit more about our tooling as we continue the conversation.
Excellent. I think that's a great thing which you did. For example, the gamification, and the people love surprises. They do not want to always buy what they want to buy. They also want surprises in their lives. And what you did with Ed's product is fabulous. So great lesson from you, Mark. Thank you so much for sharing that. Margaret, what are your marketing efforts, marketing tips, marketing strategies that you use in order to improve your sales?
Yeah, I mean, not super different from all the things that Mark was talking about. So we use Shopify. So they have a really robust selection of tools at your disposal there. I use MailChimp for email marketing. Try not to spend a lot of money on a CRM platform, and you're still able to reach a lot of folks and grab people into your list through signups on your website and signups elsewhere. I also use Google advertising, so that's a big one. Like you were said, I think like Mark was saying, it's really important to do like branded search. So like for us, like, a lot of people kind of remember our name Bokk, but they can't remember how to spell it. So we cover a wide variety of search terms there, just related to our own name, just so when people are typing in something that, they think is what they need to do to find us will pop up for them right away, whether they spell it right or wrong. So that's pretty important to us just because it captures all those people that are direct searching for you. So you know that people who specifically want to find you are able to, and that you show up in a really high position whenever they use those search terms. In addition to that, we'll play around a little bit with I guess, targeted marketing around our sustainability initiatives. So people that are specifically looking for a conscious business, for gifts. We do. I know Mark was talking about this, but we also do a ton of gifts. Gifts are over 50% of our direct to consumer revenue. And then, of course, we also sell to boutiques and stores. As well as the retail partnerships. So that makes up pretty much half of all of our revenue as well, outside of our direct to consumer channels. And for that, a lot of that is just building direct consumer client relationships. So really responding to outreach as well as being the person that reaches out to retailers as well, to see if they'd like to carry our collection. Or put us on their online marketplace, in which case it's very, I guess, little heavy lifting for us, with a pretty high return, because all we have to do is just fulfill those orders, and we don't really have to do anything on the marketing end. So to be a part of another retailer's online marketplace is big for us. So we're able to sell on places like Greetable and Motherly. We used to sell in J. Crew, so all of that is like, the marketing kind of goes with the territory, and we don't really have to do any of it, but we get to reap all the benefits. In terms of our own marketing, using the tools that are at your disposal and that are within your reach and within your budget is really all that you can do, and making sure that you're casting a wide net there and covering all of your bases, especially in terms of organic marketing, which doesn't really cost anything at all. So that's, making sure that you're optimizing your social channels, Instagram, Facebook, and capturing customers, in a way that's, I guess, most efficient.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Margaret, for sharing all of that. Out of SEO, content writing, and ads, in these three things, SEO, content, and ads, how do you split your budget?
Most of our budget goes to ads. Uh, that being said, which is, so for us, SEO is very much tied into the way that we advertise on Google, because that's kind of what like ups our SEO. I honestly don't know that much about SEO. All I know is that, we hired a marketing agency pretty soon after we launched to optimize our website for SEO, which I believe is I'm sure Mark can speak more to this, because this is more his specialty and line of work. But it's search engine optimization, so it's really just making sure that you're putting the right keywords in your website to make sure that those will show up in searches for the products that you're selling. Other than that, content is a huge part of what we do, but I wouldn't really say it's a huge part of our budget, because we like to keep it cheap, and most of the content that we produce is totally free for us. A lot of it is user generated. People post pictures of their kids wearing our clothes, and we take those pictures and we repost them. Obviously, when we do photo shoots, that's probably the most expensive thing that we do in terms of creating content, and that's definitely something that every physical product-based business has to do. You've got to get great product photos, and you have to, if you're an apparel brand, make sure that you've got really nice images of models or customers wearing your clothes.
Absolutely, 100%. Coming back to you, Mark, conversion rate optimization, CRO, versus SEO, search engine optimization.
Mhm.
Which is better for online businesses?
Well, I like to tell businesses, don't start advertising and driving traffic, spending money to drive traffic to your site until your site is effective at converting customers to a sale, right? If you spend all the money in the world to drive them to a poor experience, and it's not going to convert. So start with the foundation and having a good professional site that transacts really easily and provides easy access to what people want to do, and then move to the advertising side. But also, I think it's important to note on how organic works versus, versus others. Organic takes a while. You have to earn credibility with the search engines, and it's not just about having the right content and the tagging, but Google actually looks at how when they're sending traffic to you, how are those people responding to getting sent to your site. So if they come to you and drop, then you lose credibility, and over time you earn the credibility, and they start to see, oh, this is a relevant site for these things. And of course, it's all a mystery exactly how the science behind how Google delegates traffic to one place or another. But when we go to market with a new business, and I failed to mention, we're actually going to market with a new e-commerce business that's all around in the clothing arena, not in kids clothing or infants or anything, but more on the high end adult side. But it's a process, and when we go to market, we end up leaning more heavily into advertising early, while we're gaining traction and credibility on the organic side, and one complements the other. Obviously, from a traffic acquisition perspective, it helps balance traffic acquisition across, but also your advertising will help build credibility to your site, because you're paying for the traffic, they're directing the traffic, but also Google is looking at how how effective those are, because now you're sending people for a particular keyword that found your ad, and now they're getting sent to your site because you paid for it, but they're also looking, did that person stay on the site? Did they engage with the site? And if they did, then you're getting credibility for your organic side of your business. So they do complement one another, and it just depends on the timing on the journey of kind of the business life cycle, but also where you are and where you fit. I will say, interesting enough, Ed, today, we spend almost no money on advertising. We've run a lot of advertising trials and tests, and we've done advertising, but most of the channels, what we found is the return on investment and his share of wallet, his lifetime value for his customers is not significant. It's not a life, it's just not that big. So it's really hard we found that the return on investment just isn't there. But as he's got his legs under him and he's now has all the credibility organically, we tend not to do that. One other thing I wanted to mention before I forgot to say is when you think about marketing, and you think about there's customer acquisition, new customers, and then there's kind of marketing to your existing customers. It is so important to balance the gives versus the gets from marketing to your existing customer base. So we spend probably more money on marketing efforts that are around servicing the customer's needs around what products we offer, and not asking them to buy something. So, like right now, Ed is running a campaign that just started, which is around helping people learn how to grow a Carolina Reaper. So it's called Ed's Growing Camp, and you could sign up and participate. And he's doing a video series through the summer, and he's taking it from seed all the way through to production. And people are engaged with that. They're loving it. They're learning how to grow a plant. By the way, it's really hard to grow a super hot pepper plant, especially in a colder climate. So, and you get that kind of, intimate experience with the brand and with the owner of the company. And that pays off so much, more, that it's not a direct return on investment, but it's huge. And that's how you build the loyalty to the brand. It's not always asking, it's fine if it's Starbucks and you're going to get your coffee every morning and you want to know what deal they got going today and whether you want to do that. That's fine. They can send you a promotion every day. But when, for most businesses and, most commerce, like Bokk baby, it's about that person who's having a baby and the growth of that child, and that, that's the customer and that's the experience they're going through. So satisfying those needs and helping inform that's a great thing to lean into. And then if you lean into that and actually provide that content on your site around, like, I I don't know, your baby's first step. Building content that are helping, with how to help them sleep through the night or whatever. That's now people are searching for that, regardless of wanting to buy, new clothing. But then they're finding you and go, oh, this is a good source of information, and that this person is not just asking me to buy stuff. They're asking, they're trying to support that individual in the arena that they're trying to that they're using your products for. So anyways, very important from a marketing strategy side.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just to add on to that, I mean, I completely agree. And I think that the brands that do it best are the ones that, really speak to, I guess, just all of the interests of their customers, whether that's related to the specific products or not. And especially from an SEO perspective, I mean, being able to have that content on your website, people can really find you based on articles that they're searching for, not just, what you're selling. And then once they're there, they take an interest in the brand, and maybe they follow your social media channels, or maybe they stay connected in other ways. And the name recognition in and of itself is so valuable down the road. And I mean, like for us, I mean, most of our repeat customers are gift givers. So we really try hard to go hard on what the idea of being the perfect baby gift and being the easiest baby gift, and being able to be the brand that people think of when they're like, oh, I sent one, I'm just going to use this company for all of my baby gifts again. So that really becomes huge when it comes to building a lifetime customer for us.
Excellent. So Marc and Margaret, truly impressed. Your passions towards your work is evident when you speak about your work, and the knowledge that you possess, and the values that you have, the obsessiveness of making a difference in customers' life, in customers' business, in making your customer a successful person. In terms, let's say when the customer wants to give a gift, you want to make sure that he or she is giving the right gift as per their budget, and the person who receiving the gift is also happy with the gift. And so when Marc is, let's say, helping his clients, he wants to make sure that the client's success is more important to his success. And when the client succeeds, he definitely succeeds. So when both of you talk about the belief and the obsessiveness of making your customer happy and successful, that's when you actually become successful as well. Those are some great tips that we learned today from you guys. Thank you. I think in the last round, if let's say the speakers have any questions to a fellow speaker, you can shoot now. If Marc has a question to Margaret, or Margaret has a question to Marc.
I wasn't prepared for anything, but no, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity to engage and share. It's great to meet you, Margaret, and learn about your business and your journey as well. So I have no questions, but it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, same. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think it's wonderful to hear you speak, Marc, and Ami, thank you so much for having us here. And yeah, pleasure to engage with everyone on the line, and just to be a resource to anybody who wants to follow up as well.
Excellent. So I will be in touch with both of you. We have recorded this session, and we will get back to you with the clips of the session.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Marc, you there for a minute?